This is Mick, and today I'm going to talk about space and relationships. So I always thought I was kind of a loner type dude. I'd hang out with the very close, tight-knit group of people I always hang around with. But once in a while I couldn't just help but feeling like I needed to get away from them. Like I needed to take a weekend off or go somewhere else or just get away from it all. And I thought that's just the way I was. I thought it was just part of my thing. People knew, oh, okay, he needs to go doing his own thing. He needs his space. That is all good. But upon my return from that space, I just start the same thing over and over again. So up until recently, I never really thought about changing my habits or routines once I came back from that break until I needed another break. So it was just a continuous loop, just on and on and on. It wasn't until I had a big blowout a couple of weeks ago with someone really close did I actually take an extended period of time away from talking or seeing or even texting. And that space created a freedom and almost a liberation. And it felt really good. And when we spoke again, there was no animosity, no bad blood, nothing. It's almost like the time was super important. So I do this every so often, but this whole experience kind of got me to reflect, maybe I don't need to take those 5 days completely away from someone. Maybe I need to back off and not be so not be so entrenched in some kind of like routine that I self-imposed on myself. There's particular people in my life that I speak to all the time and I deal with and I see all the time, and it's an everyday thing. Maybe every day or twice a day is too much. It's too overbearing, and then it's almost like I can't keep up with it. So when I finally hit the breaking point, I have to disappear completely. But this whole thing got me to think, what if I just took consistently more space apart? Instead of speaking to someone every day, maybe every second day or every third day, so that there'd be nothing but good vibes. Because what I found was, attached to speaking to someone every day was this almost idea that it was a schedule that I needed to maintain. And that created a stress and almost a resentment towards that person. And I really think vice versa. So we weren't really bringing the best out of each other. One example of this kind of space is my brother's been traveling for a while now. And we used to work every day right next to each other. And I feel like now we're each of us individually way more productive than we ever were. And it's not like there was anything negative between us, but it's almost like when you're so close to someone, you start to think for yourself in terms of how they would think. And you're not doing something for yourself, you're doing it for someone else almost. And it's this weird subconscious thing, it's hard to explain. But whenever we've taken time apart, he'll go out and do things, and things just start to happen. And the same with me. So and with this particular person that I got into a scrap with. And since then we've been speaking less. We've still been speaking, but less. And the less is actually more, because it doesn't leave any room to get into some like ugliness. So that time away in that space and less of an imposed schedule that I completely imposed on everything, I think is a healthier way to go about things. It's always like the less is more, and too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And I definitely can understand why I always needed that time away, because I hit a breaking point, because I committed too heavily to these daily obligations almost that they turned into. And I don't like that, and I don't like that commitment, and nobody likes that commitment. It should just be a freedom. The friends I have the greatest convos with are the ones I speak to every few weeks. So space and relationships is something I'm just starting to get a grasp of. So thanks for listening. If you like what you saw, please follow or subscribe or tell me to go F myself. Thanks, and have a good one.